I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah, we're live.
There it is. Oh
Hey
my gosh,
everyone,
we're live.
here
Hello.
we are.
Here we are, everyone. We're live. It's nice to see you all, even though I can't really see you. I'm just going to
Yeah,
pretend I can.
they're out there.
They are. And so, with today's imagination session, I do have something I want to bring up a little bit topic, let everyone kind of get in here, and then we do have a fun one to do. But I wonder how the imagination is changing through the pandemic. Like, if people are using it more and realizing it, or they're using it less and they're not, because they're not interactive with all these other things going on. It's like a tool they're not using as much anymore. What do you think? Generally speaking.
I think that in the beginning of the pandemic, I think there was a lot of high hope for people to, because people were initially really excited to do something different and new, like, oh, this is the time to seize the day and do the things that I said I was going to do years ago and didn't get a chance to. So I think that there was a few months there where people were really hustling that and using their imagination more.
Yeah.
And then I think as time went on, it probably became harder for people to engage with it. And I think now people are like animals coming out of a cage. So
I can see that.
maybe not using it as much. I
Well,
could be wrong.
yeah. Well, I think so. I also think, it's funny you mentioned that animals coming out of a cage. Like, I do think that there is an element of this where social norms that were attached to our daily life have not been used in all capacity, and everyone has had their own kind of solo existence with a limited bubble or alone or with whatever. And then now getting back into things, I think people are having to either reimagine what life is like or remember. But I think a lot of social norms and cues have changed for people, like not just with what they're with attire or grooming or things like that, but also just, for a while there was no traffic anywhere, so everyone was just zipping around in their cars. All of a sudden there's traffic, so are people more impatient now than they were even before then? Do you think there's things like that happening? That's what comes to my mind. I
Yeah.
had a rude experience at a donut shop the other day from someone, and it just seemed very odd. And it's like, I feel like there's mentality changing with people lately.
Can you elaborate or no?
Well, yeah, I was waiting to get some coffee actually at this donut shop, and there was a line of people waiting outside. And then some guy kind of pushed his way ahead of some other people and went inside, and then looked back and said, "Before any of you give me a dirty look, I'm picking up an order." And then just stood there. And the woman's like, "Hold on, these people are ahead of you." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up an order." The woman's like, "Okay, we're just wait a second." It's like, I feel like that instant gratification element of people ordering something and thinking they can get it is, they forget that there's other mechanisms going on, and
Yeah.
that element's kind of buffy up. But yeah, it was really weird. Like, everyone in line was looking at him like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Do you think some people have gotten to a place where they feel like I deserve this?
Yeah, and also I think the empathy element is missing. Because people aren't
Yeah.
really imagining; they're being told what's going on in different parts of the world, or maybe they've had their own traumatic experiences
Right.
throughout this, that they're missing that social emotional learning where we can imagine what it's like to be in someone else's situation.
Actually, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What have you noticed the difference being in people's stories doing these sessions before the pandemic versus now? Have you noticed a difference?
That's a really good question. Um, I've noticed the way, yeah, actually. I've noticed a couple things now that I think about it. I never really thought about it. But I noticed that so with the pandemic hit, I started doing all sorts of different audio jack sessions. There were ones Thursday nights. There was the Tuesday one that's still going on every Tuesday during the day, and then there was the different iterations that you and I have been doing for the last year, which is amazing.
It's crazy.
And these now and all these other ones. But I noticed, like, some people, when they were getting into it, just their vibe was more like, "Hey, it's kind of a fun imagination session thing. Let's do it. All right, cool." And it was like, "Oh, I came up with this, I came up with that," and the social element of it was kind of like less. It wasn't as heavy. But now, I mean, I've been doing these imagination sessions for so long that I feel like for people, it's become almost therapeutic, and it has it has a different tone. And I don't know if this comes out the wrong way, but I feel that some people, they need this in their life, like I do. I mean, I know you and I, after every session, we're like, oh my god, I needed to hang out and do that. I'm so glad we did that today.
Yeah.
Like, even like we'll have the craziest days and like, oh god, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm so glad. But I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are experiencing that now because they're isolated, they're in these worlds, or they're in these new routines that are very different. And to have the opportunity, like for myself, like I just hung out with family this weekend. You know, everyone's very reactionary. I'm dealing with my older dad, but like a lot of my friends group has changed and things like that. And I'm not hanging out talking about just fun stuff and things that don't have to be serious, that don't have to do that. And when you do one of these, we listen to an audio jack, you can have that escape. You know, it's completely somewhere you can go. You can go be a different kind of creature. You can travel in time. You get that full freedom, and it's like you have that little void that you can go play around in, and nothing else can get you. And I feel that's kind of a new feel or new vibe from when people are doing these.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can see that. Yeah.
yeah. So I've noticed that. We got a couple of viewers. Hey, nice to see you all. I can now read this. What's the topic here? Well, the topic, we were talking about how our imagination has changed and if it's changed for other people and things like that. Um, Mike uses audio jack every day. He says Donnie has no sound. Here we go. Back on there. Yeah, we were talking about this. So we were just talking about the imagination in that respect. And then what we're going to do now is I actually have an audio jack that I'd like to do and get into it, because one of the fun things about this is really getting a chance to share stories with everyone else in the comments. You know, I love that. Um,
I
so
was
I
making
think we
sure there
should.
was sound. And
Yeah,
yes, there
you
is.
sound fine. Yeah, your audio does change. It just changed again. Like right now, it sounds really clear.
Oh,
Yeah, and
probably because I'm
then
really close to the mic.
I I can tell.
Hi.
Hi. Whoa.
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 So yeah, so I want to give everyone enough time, because I know we always run out of time to hear everyone's stories. So I thought I would do one. I don't think we've done this one before or whatever. It's in the action adventure category. It's called Goliath,
Okay.
and I think you'll like it. So for those of you just tuning in, here's the spiel of what we're gonna do. Elizabeth and I we're gonna jump inside the Audio Jack app. You can look this up, audiojack.com. You can get all the info on this. And we're going to share it with you. It's going to get piped through here, and we're going to listen to an audio jack. An audio jack is an audio-based movie. There's no words, there's no video, and no music. It's hundreds of sounds put together to tell a story for your imagination, and it's awesome. We're going to listen to the same audio jack twice. First time you're going to hear it, you're going to be like, okay, you understand what it is. And then the second time you're going to hear the same one, so you can then put the story together and make it what you want it to be. Even though this one has a title and all that stuff, you can still make it whatever you want it to be. You don't have to try to guess what it is. This is a prompt. You can either run with it or you can come up with something totally different. And I've heard all sorts of crazy stories from these. And that's part of the fun, because we all have different memories and imaginations, and they're about to converge. And it's going to be really fun. So for those of you playing at home, please, in the comments section, write your story, write what you're coming up with. And then when we're done sharing ours, we're going to hop in and read them. So, try to write it all out. And it doesn't have to be a complete narrative. It can be an outline, an idea, whatever you want. And Elizabeth and I will be doing the same on our own. I've got my book.
I need one.
I know. Yeah. And I got, I got to send you a book as well, too.
Man.
So that's about it. So let me get the app all set up here. Share sound. You can do this at home, people, with your friends and family. If you want to, you can just pull up the Audio Jack app and Zoom and invite everyone. And you can drop the app right in, just like that. Look at that. There it is. We're on an iPad. That's why it looks the way it does. So this is the action adventure category. This one is called Goliath. And wait a minute, where is it? There it is. Okay. Alphabetical. It's been a long day. So I'm going to mute myself, and Elizabeth and I are going to mute ourselves, so you know we don't know you, and we're just going to listen. It's a short one. It's only 4 minutes long, so close your eyes and let your imagination go. And whatever you come up with, that's what the story is, and that's what we're going to share. Goliath. All right, now that same audio jack is going to play one more time. Now, start making the story what you want it to be. Start brainstorming, creating up your narrative or whatever you want, and then we're going to share. Here we go. And then we'll read your stories afterward. right, there we go. A little Goliath action for your Friday. Um, I love that one. So there we go. So those of you playing along at home, keep writing your stories in the comments on your social media or website of your choice. And once we're done chatting here, we're going to go through and read what you all came up with. I cannot wait to see and hear what you did. Elizabeth, would you like me to go first? I think you're still working.
You can go.
All right. So I drew a picture again, and I didn't really get through much of it because I was kind of figuring it out, but I'm going to try to show it. I think it'll come up on the book if I hold it here a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Kind of. You can kind of
Yep,
see.
I can see it. Yeah.
All right, cool. So essentially, here's just a really big foot that I drew, but I was kind of drawing like a cliff's edge. Like in Israel, there's Masada, which was where the Romans, basically Jews and Romans, had their final battle. But it's up on this giant cliff. I mean, a cliff, it's on its own island up in the middle of wherever they had to build a crazy bridge. But I just imagine like a battle scene of like a sloping, long cliff area, some shrubbery and trees. These are like soldiers, and there's those spears up there, and just kind of groups of them. There's a guy with a big horn that was going on. It's a really poor sling. So I went very literal with David and Goliath with this one. And but it didn't have the same, like in the biblical story, I believe David chops Goliath's head off at the end after he knocks him out. I didn't go, and my story wasn't like that. It was almost like there was a battle going on and they brought in Goliath. It almost felt like I was in 300, the movie or something.
Yeah.
Like very much had that vibe, but it was me in it, and I was David, but kind of just walked up and was really kind of unsure of myself, and then saw him just started charging, and he was going to charge through me and to everyone else. Like there was no one to defend him, and I just, and it cracked him and it hit him split in the head, and it took him out. One shot. It didn't necessarily penetrate him. I don't know why I killed him, but it did. And then I walked up to him. Instead of, finishing him off, I just saw he was gone and just took him in and then left, and then just kept walking faster and just got out of there. But I like that as like almost, so I always think cinematically, like different cameras and stuff. But for a movie, I would love that to be just like the opening before the credits, before the opening title. Like that happens, and then he runs off, and then the movie is about this. But it's not the same biblical journey. It's this guy just leaves, and he's the one who killed Goliath. But what's life like for him, or whatever back then? I don't know. That's where my head went.
Yeah.
So
like
don't know if I'm crazy, but that's what I came up with.
No, I feel like they don't have a Goliath movie, do they?
No.
That would be so good.
Right? There's so many ways you could
just call
take
it
that.
Goliath.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And no one will think of that really bad TV show that was on for a while with Billy Bob Thornton.
No.
Yeah. The first season was okay. Then it was weird.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I would love to make a movie. I mean, these. What about you?
The second
what
season sucked.
The second season was terrible.
Bad.
Did you watch the third?
Horrible. No.
Oh God!
I watched the third when I couldn't even watch the second.
The second had some imagery that fucked me up for a long time, and there was some stuff in the end of that, and just in that season that was so gross. It was all camp writing. It's like Sons of Anarchy. It's like, we're gonna go for shock value instead of substance. I call it hack writing.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, you can do so much better. Yeah, the third season's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch it.
No, don't waste your time. I watched it because it was based on agriculture in the Central Valley, California, so I was a little bit interested, but no. So back to Goliath.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Elizabeth, what about you? What came to mind? We got some good stories I see starting to show up.
I see them. So it was so hard for me not to go here. But I was the Spaniard. I was in Gladiator.
Ooh, all right. I like that.
I love Maximus. I think I've watched Gladiator a bajillion times. But this time it was a new enemy. So in the beginning, it was outside the Colosseum. Like they were bringing this beast to the stadium. And then he's, back where he starts, behind the doors, waiting.
Okay.
This time, it's like towards the end of the movie when it's just him and everyone stays back.
Yeah.
So everyone's in the Coliseum. It's very, very quiet. They open those doors, and then the beast emerges.
Oh.
And it's monstrous. And he just slowly walks out, very certain of himself. And he starts, like, whipping whatever it is through the air. I imagine it would have to be pretty sharp.
Yeah.
About it. But as quick as it starts is as quick as it ends. And he loops the neck, and then the neck, like, clean off.
Oh.
And everyone in the crowd's like, oh! And then he goes up to it, looks at it, drops his tool on the ground, and then walks off.
Oh.
Now I feel like I wish he didn't die in the first one.
I know. God.
This is when he comes back from the afterlife.
Yes, exactly. He's reincarnated through a shaman.
Exactly.
I actually just thought of an idea in the middle of your story. What if it was a story about Goliath or whatever, but it's like, David walks off and then the show, the movie starts. But that stone that killed Goliath, what happened to that stone? And the movie follows the legend of the stone that killed Goliath. And maybe that has some power. And that's what we follow. Like, you see him leave, but then the camera pans down and you see this thing, like, kind of in the head and bleeding. But eventually something happened to that. Like, that is somewhere.
Where is that stone?
Yeah. Like, what if that was about that? Oh, man. It's the Tesseract, and Loki pops out.
Yeah!
Surprise.
Oh, my gosh.
I love him. That was really cool, Elizabeth. I like that. Why just make me think of Gladiator?
So
that movie always makes me
sad.
Brought
me there, though.
Yeah. Well, I see some people in our comments have had some comments here. Mike wrote, I like David would be a pre-story of David being picked in early life and later grows up and takes out Goliath. Oh, nice. But he said he sees a cavalry. Mike gotcha. That's the only way you can say it. Mike gotcha. By the way, for all of you that know Mike, you have to say his name like Mike gotcha every time you hang out with him. It's a thing. So he says, wow, I see a cavalry of medieval troops escorting the king and his family to their castle. Then a warring faction comes over the hill and breaks out in battle. As the battle is almost won, silence takes over as a horn is blown and a huge giant comes out to fight. But before it does anything, arrows are shot across the field and kill him instantly. The battle is lost and the lone remaining fighter drags off into the woods bleeding from injuries. Ooh, I like that.
That was cool.
I like that. And so he says...
A warring faction.
Yes!
Feel it.
That's cool. Like, or a pre-story of David being picked early in life. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm seeing some other stories in here. Paola says, are you reading? Should I read Paola's?
I opened my eyes.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
When I heard footsteps, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So close by, voices, screams, and I felt like I was waking up from a dream, a horrible dream. Dazed and confused, all I could see was my friends fighting for their life, scattering away, avoiding getting the hot side of the blades. Some bleeding, some screaming. Some of them have already left me. We all started to run towards the forest. After all, it was our sanctuary. It was our home. It was my home. A rock thrown by this massive giant, by this Goliath, had hit to the village where kids, women, and the elderly stayed secure.
Your audio just changed.
Really?
Yeah, it just got really good.
No.
Anyway, just keep going. Yeah, it's so weird.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay. Keep going.
The power was coming. Sorry. I couldn't let this happen. Calling for all the magic in me, I had to call my beast what most people in the village have never seen. A
chimera.
chimera?
Chimera.
Chimera. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Look up. It's like a lion and a no. What is it? It's a mix. It's a lion
Oh,
wing, right? No.
I know this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's
it
a
was your
lion with
pet?
wings. Devil thing. Yeah.
If I would lose my life to protect the ones I cared for, then so be it. A hit strike, a hard punch, a claw strike, and just like that, we went down. Only one winner, and that was. That was who?
It was yeah.
Wait, what?
Lion
What
and
is.
dragon. Yeah, Paul, you got to finish it. She wrote that she's pulled over to do the story, which is awesome. I love that, and you're very
Oh my
welcome.
gosh.
But what's the rest of the story? Who's the winner?
Only one winner, and that was.
Lion and dragon. She writes.
Did
Yeah.
she?
Well, lion and
Oh!
dragon is what this is. It's a combination of.
Oh, Lion and Dragon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to see it,
Yes.
and then I knew.
She's like exactly who will win. Oh,
That
all
was
right. You
so
can tease us.
exactly who will win. Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping you would tell me.
I know.
That
Oh,
was
man.
really good. I loved it.
We got two more comments. As the last of the Walking Dead are abolished, the New World is coming back. And we're back to gladiator days fighting. Oh, God, I'm so scared. I hope that doesn't come back.
I'm ready. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so ready.
No, I am. I just want to like chill for a little while. I've been so.
All right, chill for a
just come
little,
on.
and then I'm
Yes,
ready.
absolutely. I know. I gotta
Thank
find
you,
a better
Paul.
motorcycle. That was cool. I like that. Someone else
I
had some
saw
comments.
Merlin in here earlier. I'm waiting
Yeah, he
for
said
hers to
he's.
come through.
Merlin said she's drained. She said she's in
Oh,
the dead zone tonight, totally brain dead. But that's. I have a feeling there's a story in progress. So we started so early getting the stories in here.
I know.
But I like that one. It's funny that one, believe it or not. Can I give you a little fun fact about that audio jack?
Okay.
It is now being used in Sunday schools when they teach the Old Testament.
Really?
Yes.
That's super cool.
Right? It's actually used. I've heard from rabbis. I've heard from youth groups and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty neat. People are using that audio jack for that. There's also another one we have in here called 2x2 that maybe we'll do
Okay.
next time.
Wow.
That one's pretty neat.
Oh.
I'm sure you could guess what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is
See
fun.
a lot of sounds in that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's actually really interesting. So I have to say, I played this audio jack Goliath earlier this week at the Tuesday session at 11 a.m. and someone said they were a time traveler, and they went to the days of David and Goliath with a rocket launcher. And when David went to throw the rock, he was hiding on a hill and fired a rocket and blew up Goliath and
That's
saved the day.
amazing. And everyone in the audience gasped.
All of a sudden, it's like the visual of it too. It's just like of a
That's
just giant
funny.
rocket tearing off and boom. By the way, the gentleman that said that he's 84 years old, I think, or 85. Came up with that one. Ah, Merlin. Merlin came through. Here we go. Petty humans and their petty little wars. Do you want to read it? Would you like to read it, or do you want me to do it?
Petty humans and their petty little wars over petty little things. They marched into battle, idly chatting about the lives they'd take that day. He watched them on his screen and was disgusted. He had enough. He wasn't supposed to interfere in timelines, but this was ridiculous. He sounded the horns and laughed as they all stood transfixed by the sound and the glowing balls of light that rose into the air, his transporters down, right on the front lines, and zaps the men in his way. A single shot and he turned, walking away. He was definitely going to be in a big bunch of trouble for this. But it was worth to see how killing Julius as a boy changed history this time. Time traveler. Time
Yeah,
traveler. She got it.
there it is. There it
Different
is. There's
time
a time travel.
traveler. Thank you,
And she took out
Merlin.
taking out Julius Caesar. Look at that.
Wow.
Wow. I've had someone else say they went back and blew up Hitler as well too. I've heard in some of these. Um, time travel would be awesome if he took a transformer to fight the giants. Right? He went to Cybertron, got it together.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. I like that. Yeah, this was a fun one to make and put together because I wanted to leave it a little bit. Thank you, Merlin. Because I wanted to leave it a little bit open. I didn't want it to be too literal. You
Yeah.
know, I thought
No,
it was
it
kind of fun.
was.
Yeah,
Took me somewhere
yeah,
else. It was close,
good.
but still somewhere else.
Yeah, in doing this, you asked that question earlier, and I've been thinking about the whole session about like how I've seen people change, like the ability part of what's happening in the pandemic to people in general is whether you're working from home or not working, you're in this kind of fight or flight mode all day long. You're always working. You don't have those same boundaries, like everyone breaks for lunch or everyone starts work at this time or ends at this time, or there's certain things to kind of segment your day. And we're just going through the whole time, like in the middle of the day, like sometimes you might doodle on a piece of paper and stuff. Like working from home, that doesn't really happen. You really have that time to kind of mindlessly let your mind wander. But here, like just scribbling in this book, it felt so good. Like I felt like relaxed and fun, and like I want to go like somewhere and just draw for hours and doodle and just do mindless stuff. Like I actually felt better. Not that I
Yeah.
was feeling bad, but I just noticed I started feeling really good.
Yeah.
It's just, this is like nothing. But I mean, it's not. It's something, but the impact it's having, I think, is interesting to
I agree.
explore.
I personally notice a difference whenever we do them, especially when we have more people do these with us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I find myself just genuinely appreciating small interactions so much more. That says a lot
Yeah.
because I've never been really social person.
Sure.
So I think that surprised me a lot because I've always been a person that's like, I have no problem staying in and being my best friend if that's what I have to do. But what
Yeah.
surprised me is like doing these sessions and things like that where I genuinely find myself really enjoying it.
It's probably because we're not talking about work or things. No, but I mean that like
But
in
also
both ways.
the
In a fun and a
interaction,
serious way.
like I
Yeah.
didn't think I would
Yeah.
miss it.
Yeah. But it is because we're talking about fun stuff. We're not talking about stuff that has to deal with the deadline,
Yeah,
because that's what most of your interactions have probably become through the workday, throughout the day.
that's true.
It's either
And I'm
stuff with
doing more of
family
it.
issues, or or it's something work related. It's not just
Right.
talking with a buddy about a thing and this or whatever. Like we're literally playing and goofing off. Like we're 5-year-olds again in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I love this.
Yeah, it's great. I always enjoy
Yeah,
it.
Imagination Nation. I like that, Paul. There you
Yeah,
go.
Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it
Imagination
really is neat.
Nation. I love that. I feel like we have this big event that happens now annually. Imagination Nation.
Mission. We will. I mean, it
Yeah.
was also Mental Health Awareness Month, and I did a whole thing with MTV throughout the month, and the big activation was yesterday, and did all these things with Audio Jack too. But I think there's something to be said for that. Like, there should be an imagination event or
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Like, we could definitely do that. Maybe at a Cosm event, we'll have an imagination booth. I'll get Bose to bring us like a whole bunch of headphones, and we'll set it up so people can go in, or speakers, and you walk into a room.
Yeah.
Do something fun like that. Yeah,
Yeah, that
Merlin,
would
I
be a
do
lot of
agree.
fun.
The share. Yeah, Merlin says the sharing of creative energies is the best stuff for the soul.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All the different thoughts to make people of this world. Yeah, exactly. It's really neat. Well, this was awesome. I know you've got
Yeah.
another live stream starting up here very soon with our
Yeah.
lovely buddies who
With
I
our
saw. I
little
got to hang out with Jimmy
friends.
this week.
I'm
Yeah, we went and got
jealous.
coffee. Yes. Soon. You'll be here soon.
Soon. Yes, I will.
Soon. It'll be wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you all for sharing and participating, and all of you that are catching this later on video on demand. I hope you enjoy. Elizabeth, thank you. This was
Thank
fun.
you. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
All right, have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Sign us off. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.